But I talk to myself pretty frequently, and I think that's okay. And here's why. Because do you ever get heartburn? Give us this day our daily bread. Oh my god, hi. I talk to myself a lot. And I always thought it was a bad thing. I always thought, like, if I'm talking to myself, does that mean mentally something's wrong with me? Because, people, like, back in the day, they'd be like, oh, if someone's, like, talking to themselves, it must mean they're crazy. Or, like, I live in Nashville. I live in a big city. So, like, walking down the street, you see a person walking down the street and, like, mumbling to themselves. It's like, all right, we know what's happening there. But I talk to myself pretty frequently, and I think that's okay. And here's why. Because do you ever get heartburn? I get heartburn frequently. And you know how heartburn, it just like sits right here, and you're just like, ugh. And so you take like a Tums or a Rolate or whatever, and it soothes it, right? I feel like emotions are the same way. Recently, I just had so many things going on and so many things in my brain, and I just felt like my emotions were like right here. And I just couldn't like even take a breath. And so I was like, what? I needed emotional Tums. Like, what can I do to sort of suppress that and help myself out? And I didn't really know, but then I went on a walk and I had AirPods in, and I was like, no one's gonna know if I just like talk to myself like I would be talking to a friend, because they might just think I'm on the phone. So I'm just like walking out on these trails and like in the forest, just talking to nobody but myself. And I felt a little crazy, but I mostly felt liberated, because I was just like, it's kind of crazy to just walk around saying your feelings out loud. But it was so therapeutic and cathartic, and I got home and I just felt better. And some of that could be the walk and just, vitamin D, getting out there. But I think a lot of it was actually the process of talking it out. I think talking is the emotional Tums. So I talk to myself more frequently now. I talk to Remington, my dog, because, like, it gives me something to talk to. I'm single. I live alone. I work a lot, so I'm alone a lot. So there's not really anybody there to talk to. So I talk to him a lot, and it does help. It helps get a lot of the junk out, and it truly helps you figure out what is the root of the problem. Because you might think like, okay, my friend said this thing, and that pisses me off. That bothers me. But, like, until you talk it out, you might not realize that, like, it's not necessarily what they said. Maybe it's how they said it, who they said it in front of, just your emotional state at that moment. Maybe you just weren't in a place to receive the thing that they said. And so, like, there's so many other variables. And so by talking it out, it helps you understand, like, what actually is the root of that emotion. Because, like, emotions are kind of like colors. There may or may not be an album coming out, hopefully by the end of the year or early next year, that is all about this. Just gonna say that. My first EP is called Magenta, my second EP is called Cobalt. The long-awaited third EP, which I'll just announce here, is called Emerald, is coming out sometime, hopefully in the next couple of months. And the whole premise behind that is, like, feelings are like colors, in that we can assign a feeling a color. So, like, I'm red, meaning I feel angry. But, like, most of the time it's not that simple. It's not just anger. It goes beyond that, Or I'm blue because I'm sad. Well, you might be a shade of blue. You might be Cobalt. Hello, stream Cobalt on Spotify or Apple Music. You might be cerulean, you might be periwinkle, and these different shades represent different feelings. So you might feel sadness, but, like, what shade of sadness are you feeling? Is it depression? Is it loneliness? Is it like withdrawal? What is it? Because that's going to help you solve the emotional problem a lot more. And I truly believe that talking gets that out. It sort of irons out all of that and lets you see from a 30,000 foot view, oh yeah, I thought I was sad, but I'm actually just feeling lonely, and maybe I just need to like hang out with my friends a little bit more and I'll feel better. And so you probably wouldn't get to that realization by just solving the problem in your head. There's a reason that our math teachers wanted us to show our work. I think emotionally we also have to show our work, and so that we can see how we got to that point, how we solved the problem, so we can replicate it and do it again. So I think everybody today, as a practice, we should all spend 30 minutes talking to ourselves in whatever manner you would like. Whether you want to say, I'm going to talk to my dog, I'm going to talk in the car, I'm going to go on a walk and put my AirPods in so someone thinks that I'm talking on the phone, but really I'm just talking to myself. I think you need to talk to yourself. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Give us this day our day.